This is MJ. I'm an author, I'm an artist, I'm an analyzer. Find all my work at mjmunoz.com. Henshin Inspection presents Super Sentai Sanctuary. I will be discussing what is the power of play. This is Super Sentai Sanctuary episode 18, Anything Goes. Avataro Sentai Donbrothers 18, A Shot to the Jaws, originally aired July 3rd, 2022. The writer is Toshiki Inoue, the director is Satoshi Morota. The negative thing, the one big thing I didn't like is Taro really dumb enough to believe that Mr. Gill, his Hercules beetle, is alive? I went ahead and looked it up afterwards, and while the larva lives for like 2 years, which is kind of crazy to me, and it's big and nasty. Ugh. Anyway, yeah, look it up for yourself. I won't include a picture. I will not, I will explicitly not include a picture for you to see, but it looks nasty, man. So anyway, you got to check that out. But yeah, really gross looking bug. And anyway, those things only live like 3 to 6 months in captivity. I don't know if that's because they get depressed, depressed bugs, and then they die or what. But yeah, so they don't live very long in captivity. And, yeah, Haruka's right. That beetle's long dead. And yet this, Mr. Perfect guy is dumb enough to believe that. So that's kind of an odd thing. And like I said, that's why it's a negative. Positive, all the gags were really fun, and I liked seeing the characterization at play, especially at the end. It was fun to watch the little scenarios unfold where we were seeing everybody come up with their own little plan in order, of how they were going to get Momotaro and, or I guess I should just say Taro. And, seeing them fail was fun. It was kind of like watching an episode of Roadrunner and, what was it, Wile E. Coyote? So that was kind of a kick. So I did like that a lot. Let's see, direction. Oh yeah, so they use the trick camera, like that usually spins around and goes in and out of, I know, it's like a little drone camera, I think. And like I said, it spins around and does all this crazy stuff most of the time. But they did it when the team was going to attack Taro from behind while he was looking for Mr. Gill, which is, kind of sad. But anyway, it looked really good, and I dug that. Well, actually, hold on. It didn't look really good. It was a neat shot, but when you really look at it closely, that camera is a much lower quality camera, and it just doesn't look as good as the rest of the show. But I'm sure it's because it has the maneuverability that it does, and that's what that's for. So that was kind of interesting. But I got a little bit of a kick out of that. It was definitely a neat move, and definitely something I hadn't seen anytime recently in Super Sentai. So a lot of fun. Let's see, on the writing, I had a couple things to say. Are we just accepting that all the Cerebrans are good now? I guess the other two mostly just give people bad vibes, but Inoue actually helps people, so, I guess he's good, and he's been good from the start of the show, but it seemed less like he cared about people, like cherished human lives. It seemed much less like that, and more like he hated the Hitsutsuki, and it seemed kind of the same for the others, so that's just kind of odd. Also, Murasame comes from Idion, and Inoue seems to know a bit of what is going on, so Cerebrans likely are not all good, just like people. Just like people aren't all good. Mind blown. Mic drop. Peace out. No. Anyway, just dumb observation. And then general notes. Are we... are we just accepting that Jiro is fully good now? That seems kind of odd to me because, he just went evil and attacked the team 2 episodes ago, and then, he got slapped, so I guess everything's better now. So, kind of weird. Like I said, this is a little bit of a fillery episode. It feels like a little bit like they're, filling in the gaps between, bigger stories, but then they introduce Murasame, so that kind of, makes things more interesting. I find it most interesting that it's, a sword that turns into a, person. Although I don't know if that was the case with, Void Knight or some of these other, rogue or evil ranger characters recently, but just because it was something they've done before doesn't mean it should necessarily be something they do now, but I'm also not explicitly against it. I just kind of find it to be curious. So, anyway. But then getting into reflections, and there's more stuff in the general notes you can check out if you want to over on mjwindows.com for the full show notes. That's where you're going to find them. But I want to know, is Inoue kind of talking about the power of play in this episode and with this scenario? Is it more than just filler? Does it have a point? And, what is that point? And, what I mean by the power of play is, the whole team takes up this challenge, and people do challenges now because they're fun, right? Oh, we're going to do this challenge, that challenge, right? They do challenges to achieve something, and it's to achieve a certain goal, but also it's kind of like, you know, the treasure was the friends we made along the way. Like, you do the challenge and you accept the challenge and you try to do it, but you also are just improved by the doing of the challenge. And it's not necessarily about winning or losing or succeeding, although you do want to succeed, but it also accomplishes something. Like, unstructured play is a good thing. Developmentally, I think people are advocating that, like, adults do unstructured play, you know, with other adults, which is weird because, you know, you should just have kids and then they'll beg you to play and then you'll say no, 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 and then finally you'll do it because you feel like a bad father. I mean, anyway, you know, you can do unstructured play in any circumstance, basically. And that's, I think, not even like, you know, playing a video game or whatever, but like unstructured play where you're just like goofing around doing something dumb, trying to get something kind of accomplished. You know, we saw it effectively bring this team together. The rest of the team appreciates Jiro. All of them were bowing and begging pardon and forgiveness of Taro because in like getting closer to him, in doing this dumb game where they're trying to hit him so they can be seen as equal companions or equals and more than companions and be elevated to equals of some sort. They like kind of draw closer to him and they learn more about him and they like start to empathize with him and see that he's not just some irritating jerk who's pretty much perfect and always right, but he, you know, is a person and he's got a heart and he cares about things. And they, you know, used that and manipulated him to try to win, and they ended up not being able to do it because they were, you know, going all out. It was an anything goes situation. They pulled out all the stops and they couldn't quite reach their goal. But, you know, I think ultimately they did end up getting what they wanted because while none of them landed a strike on Taro, I think the way they now feel about him is going to make them a better team and is going to, you know, effectively accomplish what they wanted by being seen as equals, you know, by landing that hit. So, I don't know, I just think it's really interesting. And, you know, it brought them together as a team, the four of them, and it, I think, like I said, brought them closer to him as well. So it's just kind of interesting how that concept got played with a little bit. And I'm wondering if that's what Inoue was going for. I don't quite know if that was the point of the episode, and I definitely don't think it was like preaching that, but maybe it was showing it and not telling it. So, I don't know, and even in a way, you know, there was a challenge. I hadn't thought about this yet. There's a challenge between Inoue and Taro to see who could help more people, and that was their big competition because they're both so big about helping people. And you know, I mean, I guess he doesn't need a heel turn if he wasn't really a villain all along, Inoue. But it definitely, to me, at least for me as an audience member and someone watching the story, it's helping to affect his heel turn, and it's helping me to accept that he has been good all along. And I mean, I guess to a smaller extent, even it's happening with, it's Sononi is the girl, right? These names are too close. Anyway, her bet with Tsubasa that she lost was another form of like a, you know, random game that was being played, and it led to a cool character moment with him and an interesting moment with her, and it, like, that's part of what fueled my interest in what's going on in the future of the show, and has me excited about it. But it also kind of does something cool for her character, and again, it kind of comes out of that, you know, whimsical play idea that I'm talking about, and how it builds things and it creates things instead of destroying things. Maybe unstructured play promotes or is the catalyst for spontaneous order. That could be the case. Anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and get out of here because I don't have much else to say. I'm not doing a creator spotlight on, well, shoot, I'm not supposed to mention that. Never mind, you didn't hear that. Check out mjwindows.com and look up Super Sentai Sanctuary for the rest of the analysis of Donbrothers, and there's links to the TikTok in here. I'm trying to do about 3 TikToks every week, so that's 3 TikToks per episode of Donbrothers or whatever Super Sentai, and we'll see how I hold up on that, but it's been fun so far, so I'm going to do them as long as they're fun, because that's what makes things work, I think. So anyway, until next time, folks, take care. This is MJ signing out. I leave you with peace and blessings, and I hope you enjoyed this and you come back for more.